In 9th standard chemistry, the lesson number 2, that is atomic structure, we have been discussing. In the former videos, we have seen the various atomic models proposed by different scientists and the drawbacks of those models, everything we have completed. And now, today, we are going to see the topic called valence electrons. Dear students, in the last video, we saw that how to write the electronic configuration of atoms. Can you remember that? Every atom contains a positively charged nucleus at the center, whereas the electrons will be revolving around the nucleus in a certain path, and those paths are called as orbits, isn't it? Yes, so that we know, and every orbit is designated as either K shell or first shell, then L shell or second shell, then M shell, third shell, and so on, is the right way of arranging the electrons in every shells. And for writing electronic configuration, we have seen a set of rules. In the first orbit, maximum 2 electrons can present, whereas in the second orbit 8 electrons can present, in the third orbit 18 electrons, whereas in the fourth orbit 32 electrons can present. So that we have seen in the last video. So based on the electronic configuration, now we are going to see the term valence electrons. What are called as valence electrons and what is called as valency, that we will discuss now. Okay, mama? Okay, dear students, first we must know how to write the electronic configuration of an atom. Here I have taken oxygen atom. Okay, mama? The atomic number of oxygen is 18 and its mass number is 16. If you know the atomic and mass numbers, you can easily find the number of protons, number of electrons and number of neutrons in an atom. Here the atomic number is 8, no? So here the number of protons will be 8 and the number of electrons also will be 8. Number of neutrons. How we can find the number of neutrons? We have a formula for finding the number of neutrons. What is the formula? Can you recognize? What's the formula for calculating number of neutrons? Mass number minus atomic number. Here mass number is 16, atomic number is 8. So 16 minus 8, that is equal to 8. That is called as a neutron number. So this oxygen atom has 8 protons, 8 electrons and 8 neutrons. Okay, okay. So out of these 3 subatomic particles, we know that protons and neutrons will be in the nucleus. So this is the nucleus. It has 8 protons and 8 neutrons. Okay, okay. Then what is remaining? The electron is remaining. How many electrons are there? There are 8 electrons in the oxygen atom. And what is the position of electrons? The electrons will be revolving around the nucleus in a specific path, that is orbit. Okay, mama. So this is first orbit, and we know that in the first orbit every atom can have maximum 2 electrons. First orbit la maximum 2 electrons thaan irukka mudiyum. So out of these 8 electrons, the 2 will be present in the first orbit. Then remaining how many electrons are there? Remaining 6 electrons are there. So those 6 electrons will enter in the second orbit. So this is the second orbit. Here how many electrons are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Totally 8 electrons. So out of 8 electrons, 2 electrons are present in the first shell, whereas the remaining 6 electrons are present in the second shell. So this is the orbital designation of oxygen atom. Okay, mama? Okay. Now from this diagram, what we are coming to say is it has 2 shells, 2 energy levels. This is first energy level, this is second energy level, or we can say first orbit and second orbit. Okay, mama? The first orbit has no significance. So it has no significance. The last orbit is there, no? That has significance since it takes place in chemical bonding. Or atomic kadaisi orbit la ulla electrons tha bonding la involve ahum. So they are given a special importance in chemistry, and the electrons present in the last shell of an atom is called valence electron. புரியுதாமா? valence electron என்ன? ஒரு ஆட்டத்துடைய கடைசி ஷெல்லில் எத்தனை எலக்ட்ரான் ப்ரெசென்ட்டாக இருக்குதோ that is called as valence electrons. ஓகேவா? So this is the concept we are going to discuss now. Okay. In the above example, we can see that there are 6 electrons in the outermost shell of oxygen atom that I have explained you. 2 electrons are present in the first shell, whereas 6 electrons are present in the second shell. Okay, and these 6 electrons are called as valence electron. So dear students, in this way we can calculate the valence electrons for any atom. Whatever the atom is given, you can easily find out the number of valence electrons only if you know the correct way of writing the electronic configuration. உனக்கு electronic configuration கரெக்டாக தெரிஞ்சது அப்படின்னா you can find out the number of valence electrons. இப்போ பாருங்க, nitrogen's atomic number is 7, which means it has 7 electrons. So how we can write the electronic configuration? In the first shell, maximum 2 electrons will be present. Then remaining how many electrons are there? Remaining 5 electrons are there. So that will go to the second orbit. Okay. So the electronic configuration is 2, 5. Here this is the first shell and this is the second and outermost shell. Okay, okay. Then how many number of valence electrons are present in the valence shell of nitrogen? Yes, it is 5. ஓகேவா? வேலன்ஸ் எலக்ட்ரான்னா என்ன? ஒரு ஆட்டத்துடைய கடைசி ஷெல்லில் எத்தனை எலக்ட்ரான்ஸ் ப்ரெசென்ட் ஆகிருக்குதோ தட் இஸ் கால்ட் அஸ் வேலன்ஸ் எலக்ட்ரான். ஓகேவா? ஓகே, திஸ் இஸ் த டெஃபினிஷன் ஃபார் வேலன்ஸ் எலக்ட்ரான். த அவுட்டர்மோஸ்ட் ஷெல் ஆஃப் அன் ஆட்டம் இஸ் கால்ட் அஸ் வேலன்ஸ் ஷெல். ஒவ்வொரு ஆட்டத்துக்கும் எவ்ரி ஆட்டம் ஹேஸ் அ நம்பர் ஆஃப் ஷெல். இட்ஸ் மே ஹேவ் 1 shell, 2 shell, 3 shell and so on. So out of those shells, the last shell means that circular path. Okay, so the last shell of an atom is called as valence shell, and the electrons present in the valence shell are known as valence electrons. Okay, is it clear? What is valence shell? The last shell of an atom is called as valence shell, whereas the electrons present in the valence shell are called as valence electrons. Okay, okay. And as I already told you, why these valence electrons are given much importance, in the sense these are the electrons takes place in the chemical reaction. ஒரு atom வந்து இன்னொரு atom கூட react ஆகும்போது inner shell உள்ள electrons participate பண்ணாது, whereas the ones present in the outermost shell, that is the electrons present in the valence shell, are take part in the chemical reaction. That is why these electrons are very, very important. Okay, Mama? Okay, so with this, valence electrons are over. Now, based on these valence electrons, we can give some assumptions. Okay, we know that in a periodic table we have 7 periods and 18 groups. Okay, so group of elements. First group எடுத்தீங்கன்னா hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium. All these elements will possess similar valence electrons. The hydrogen ஒரு valence electron, lithium ஒரு valence electron, since they are present in the same group. So அப்படி present இருக்கும்போது their properties also will be same. என்ன சொல்ல வர்றாங்க அப்படின்னா, எந்த எலிமெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் ஒரே மாதிரி valence electrons கொண்டு இருக்குதோ அந்த எலிமெண்ட்ஸுக்கு similar properties will be there. Okay, Vama? Okay. Elements with same number of valence electrons show similar chemical properties. In the same way, elements with a different number of valence electrons, wherever valence electrons irundhuchu appadina, they will show different properties. So from the valence electrons, we can also judge the properties of the elements, whether they have same properties or different properties. Ipo pathina first group la lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, everything will be there, and their valence electron is 1, and they are all metals. அவங்களுடைய valence electron சேமா இருக்கிறதுனால they show similar chemical property. If they have different number of valence electrons, means they will show different chemical properties. Okay, mama? Okay. And also, dear students, from knowing the number of valence electrons, we can judge whether the given element is a metal or non-metal. Okay, so that we can see now. Okay, so it's given here, elements which have valence electrons 1 or 2. ஒரு எலிமெண்ட்ல ஒரு வேலன்ஸ் எலக்ட்ரானோ அல்லது ரெண்டு வேலன்ஸ் எலக்ட்ரானோ இருந்துச்சுன்னா they are called as metals. அது என்னவா இருக்கும்? It will be a metal. About metals and non-metals, you may have an idea. The simplest example for metal is copper, iron and silver. So these are the examples for metals. Okay, so what we can say, the elements with either one valence electron or two valence electron, they will be possessing the properties like metals, or they are called as metals. Then non-metals means the element with 4 to 7 valence electrons. So 1, 2, 3 valence electron means they are metals, whereas the elements with valence electrons 4, 5, 6, 7, so those are called as non-metals. Okay, Mama? So by knowing the number of valence electrons, we can say whether the element is a metal or non-metal. Metal means how many valence electrons it will possess. It will possess either 1 electron, 2 electron or 3 electrons in the valence shell, whereas non-metal in the sense it will possess either 4 valence electrons, 5 valence electrons, 6 valence electrons or 7 valence electrons. Okay, Mama? So by this knowledge we can find out whether the given element is a metal or a non-metal. Okay, Mama? Okay. So with this valence electrons over, what are things we have seen? What is valence electron? Valence electron. What is valence shell? First, the outermost shell of an atom is called as valence shell, and the number of electrons present in the valence shell are called as valence electrons. Why these are so important? Because valence electrons are the one which take part in the chemical reaction. Okay, Mama? Okay. Then how we can find out whether the element is a metal or non-metal? If the element is a metal, it will have less number of valence electrons, that is 1, 2 or 3. If they possess lesser number of valence electrons, the element will be a metal. If they possess higher number of valence electrons, then it will be a non-metal. If it possesses 4 valence electrons, 5 valence electrons, 6 or 7 valence electrons in the sense, it will be a non-metal. Okay, Mama? So with this valence electrons over, now we can see another topic that is called as valency. Okay, dear students, by natural, no atom will be existing as individual one except noble gases. Noble gases மட்டும்தான் தனியா இருக்கும். மற்ற எல்லா ஆட்டமுமே இன்னொரு ஆட்டம் கூட கம்பைன் ஆகி மாலிகுலாகத்தான் இருக்கும். Okay, because they are highly reactive. Noble gases are unreactive, so they will be an isolated species. Except noble gases, all the atoms will be existing in the forms of molecules. Okay, so for forming molecule, they should have a capacity to combine itself with another atom. So that combining capacity of an element is called as valency. ஒரு atom இன்னொரு atom கூட எந்த வகையில இணைஞ்சு molecule form பண்ணுது. So that combining capacity is called as valency of an atom. Okay, okay, it's very simple. It is nothing but the valency is equal to the number of electrons take part in a chemical reaction. ஒரு chemical reaction நடக்கும்போது எத்தனை electrons involve ஆகுதோ, that is called as valency of the particular element. Okay, here easily we can find out from the valence electrons we can find out the valency. If an element possesses 1, 2, 3, 4 valence electrons, இப்போ hydrogen பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அதனுடைய valence electron 1, so its valency will be 1. Okay, அதே மாதிரி helium பார்த்தீங்கன்னா helium is a noble gas, so we cannot take that helium. Okay, so magnesium's valence electron is 2, so its valency is 2. அதே மாதிரி aluminum's valence electron is 3, so its valency will be 3. Okay, so the elements which possess either 1 valence electron, 2 valence electron, 3 valence electron or 4 valence electrons, there will be no change in their valency. அதாவது less number of valence electron இருக்கும்போது valencyயும் same தான். But if the element possesses 5, 6, 7 valence electrons, ஒரு elementக்கு 5 valence electron இருந்தால், இப்போ நைட்ரஜன் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நைட்ரஜனுடைய அட்டாமிக் நம்பர் வந்து 7, so its electronic configuration will be 2,5. It has how many valence electrons? It has 5 valence electrons, so its valency is not 5. என்ன பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா 8 minus 5, 8 minus valence electron, that is equal to 3, so the valency of nitrogen is 3. அப்போ என்ன பண்ணலாம், ஒரு நைட்ரஜன் இன்னொரு ஸ்பீசிஸ் கூட 3 பாண்டை ஃபார்ம் பண்ணலாம். இஃப் த வேலன்சி இஸ் 1 மீன்ஸ் த ஆட்டம் கேன் ஃபார்ம் ஒன்லி 1 பாண்ட். இஃப் த வேலன்சி இஸ் 2 இன் த சென்ஸ் இட் கேன் ஃபார்ம் 2 பாண்ட்ஸ். இஃப் த வேலன்சி இஸ் 3 இட் கேன் ஃபார்ம் 3 பாண்ட்ஸ். ஓகேவா? Okay, so if the element possesses the valence electrons 5, 6 or 7, we can find out the valency by subtracting the number of valence electrons from 8. That is 8 minus valence electrons. One more example is also there. Oxygen, its atomic number is 8, so electronic configuration is 2,6. Number of valence electron here 6, so 6 is not the valency of oxygen. We have to find out 8 minus 6, that is equal to 2. So the valency of oxygen is 2, which means oxygen can form double bond with another species. It can form how many bonds? It can form 2 bonds. Okay va? புரியுதா? ஒரு எலிமெண்ட்ல 5 6 அல்லது 7 வேலன்ஸ் எலக்ட்ரான் இருந்தால் வேலன்சி கண்டுபிடிக்கும் போது எந்த ஃபார்முலா யூஸ் பண்ணணும்? 8 minus valence electrons. Then we can find out the valency. அந்த வேலன்சியை வச்சு தான் ஒரு ஆட்டம் எத்தனை பாண்ட் ஃபார்ம் பண்ண முடியும், எத்தனை ஆட்டம் கூட கம்பைன் ஆக முடியும் அப்படிங்கிறத நம்ம கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியும். ஓகேவாமா? ஓகே. And also, dear students, in the periodic table, there is another special case which is zero valency. There are certain elements show zero valency. Zero valency in the sense they'll never take part in bonding. அது பாண்டிங்கில் என்ன ஆகாது? இன்வால்வ் ஆகாது. தட் இஸ் த 18th group in the periodic table. Those are called as noble gases or rare gases. அது என்ன பண்ணாது? பாண்டிங்கில் இன்வால்வ் ஆகாது. Okay va? So that is called as zero valency. Then we have to ask a question, why they are inert, why they do not involve in bonding. The answer for this question is they have completely filled electronic configuration. If helium எடுத்துட்டீங்கன்னா its atomic number is true, so electronic configuration is true. The first shell is completely filled, so it's neither loss electron nor gain electron. First shell complete fill ஆயிருக்கிறதுனால electron loss பண்ணவும் செய்யாது, electron gain பண்ணவும் செய்யாது, so that it is not involved in chemical bonding. அதே மாதிரி நியான் எடுத்துட்டீங்கன்னா neon's atomic number is 8, neon's atomic number is 10, so its electronic configuration is 2,8. The first shell is completely filled, second shell is also completely filled, because we know that in first shell maximum 2 electrons can present, in the second shell maximum 8 electrons can present, so both the shells are completely filled, so neither they lost electron nor they gain electron. ரெண்டு ஷெல்லுமே completely filled இருக்கிறதுனால electron lossum பண்ணாது, electron gainum பண்ணாது, so they won't involve in chemical bonding, and these elements are said to possess zero valency, because valency is what? Valency is the combining capacity, but these elements won't combine with another species, so we can say that these elements possess zero valency. Okay mama, so that is given here. What is zero valency? Elements having completely filled outermost shell show zero valency. There is an example is given, that is neon. The electronic configuration of neon is 2,8, which means first shell also completely filled, second shell also completely filled, so its valency is 0. Okay mama? Okay, so with this the concept valency is over. Dear students, in this video we have seen two things, that is valence electron and valency. About valence electron I have already told you. What is valence shell? The last shell of an atom is called as valence shell. And what is valence electron? The number of electrons present in the valence shell are called as valence electrons. And valency. What is valency? Valency is the combining capacity of an atom with another atom. Okay va? Okay. And then we can find out the valency. If the element possesses 1 2 3 4 valence electron, means its valency also will be 1 2 3 or 4. If it has more valence electrons than 4, இப்போ அது வந்து 5 electrons, 6 or 7 இருந்துச்சுன்னா, we have to find out the valency from subtracting 8. 8 இருந்து கழிச்சு we can find out the valency. Then there are certain elements said to possess zero valency. Zero valency na enna? They show inert nature towards bonding, because they have completely filled electronic configuration, so that those elements are said to possess zero valency. Okay va? An example is given, that is neon. Okay mama? Okay, so with this valence electrons and valency is over. Dear students, it's very important concepts, so please pay attention and learn well. It will be very useful for your higher classes. Thank you.